Harley-Davidson has long been considered an enduring symbol of American culture. The deep exhaust rumble, bold styling, and spirit of freedom on the open road have made Harley a dream for countless generations. But not every Harley has become a legend. Alongside timeless models like the Electra Glide and Sportster, the company has also produced some disasters that left riders disappointed and eager to forget. Throughout its century-long history, Harley-Davidson has often experimented to innovate and expand into new markets. However, many of those attempts turned into classic examples of failure: underpowered engines, unstable frames, awkward designs, or disastrous marketing decisions. These bikes not only tarnished the brand's image, but also left a lasting sense of frustration among loyal fans. In this video, we're counting down the 15 worst Harley-Davidson motorcycles of all time, and you might be shocked to see which one lands at number 1. 1960 Harley-Davidson Topper Scooter. The Harley-Davidson Topper debuted in 1960 with the ambition to compete against Vespa and Lambretta in the booming scooter market. Instead of success, it quickly became one of Harley's most notorious failures. The Topper was powered by a 165 cubic centimeter two-stroke engine that produced only about 9 horsepower. This output was far too weak, combined with excessive noise, heavy smoke, and the hassle of manually mixing oil and gasoline. Rather than offering convenience, the Topper delivered frustration and mess. The problems didn't stop there. Its belt drive system, advertised as innovative, proved highly unreliable. Riders often found the belt slipping or snapping, leaving them stranded on the road. The styling was equally criticized. While Vespa looked elegant and Lambretta sleek, the Topper was boxy and heavy, resembling a wooden crate on wheels. Unsurprisingly, sales collapsed within just a few years. Instead of opening a new path, the Topper stood as proof that Harley couldn't simply transplant its cruiser DNA into the scooter world. 1985 Harley-Davidson MT 500. In an attempt to expand into the military sector, Harley-Davidson introduced the MT 500 in the mid-1980s. At first glance, the concept was appealing: a rugged, versatile motorcycle designed to serve soldiers across all terrains. In reality, the MT 500 became a textbook example of how a good idea can fail in execution. The bike was powered by a Rotax 500 cubic centimeter engine, but its output was far too weak for a machine weighing over 400 pounds. This left it sluggish on rough terrain and lacking the torque necessary for military use. The suspension was another weak point, often criticized as too stiff and unable to absorb impacts during high-speed maneuvers. Another major flaw was the starting system. Instead of modern electric ignition, the MT 500 relied on a kickstart mechanism. In combat situations, having to stop and struggle with a kickstart was not only inconvenient, but potentially dangerous. Although Harley promoted the MT 500 as a durable workhorse, the military quickly realized it failed to meet real-world demands. The result? The model was phased out, and today it is remembered more as a curiosity in Harley-Davidson's history than as a true battlefield machine. 1991 Harley-Davidson Dyna Glide. When introduced in the early 1990s, the Harley-Davidson Dyna Glide was expected to be the perfect bridge between cruiser and touring, a motorcycle that was both powerful and comfortable for long-distance rides. However, the early versions of the Dyna quickly earned infamy, with many riders dubbing it the dreaded death wobble machine. The root cause lay in the frame design. Harley tried to merge cruiser agility with touring stability, but the frame was too weak to handle the torque of the Evolution engine. The result was a dangerous high-speed instability known as death wobble, where the front end shook violently, leaving riders struggling to maintain control and facing serious accident risks. Adding to the problems, early Dyna models suffered from a host of reliability issues. The Evolution engines were prone to oil leaks and overheating, while the electrical system was notoriously fragile, with weak alternators and failing wiring harnesses. Many bikers described the experience as feeling like the front wheel was about to fall off every time they hit highway speeds. 1977, Harley-Davidson Confederate Edition. Launched during the troubled AMF era, the Confederate Edition was essentially just an Electra Glide or Sportster with a cosmetic makeover. Its only distinguishing feature was a Confederate flag emblem on the fuel tank, a symbol long associated with racial division and the darker chapters of American history. Even by the late 1970s, this decision drew heavy criticism. On the technical side, there were no real improvements. It still used the 1,200 cubic centimeter shovelhead engine, notorious for oil leaks, overheating, and poor reliability. These mechanical shortcomings, combined with the controversial branding, quickly turned the Confederate Edition into an embarrassment for Harley. Today, the Confederate Edition is remembered not for collectible value, but as a stark reminder that a misguided marketing move can damage a brand's reputation even more than technical flaws. 1980 Harley-Davidson Electra Glide Classic. Within Harley-Davidson's touring lineup, the Electra Glide name once stood as an icon. But the 1980 Electra Glide Classic turned into a major disappointment, especially for riders who expected comfort and reliability on long journeys. The bike was powered by the 1340 cubic centimeter shovelhead engine, infamous for its problems. Owners frequently dealt with oil leaks, overheating, and inconsistent performance. To make matters worse, the electrical system was notoriously unreliable. Weak alternators, failing starters, and faulty wiring were all common issues. Many riders found themselves stranded on the road when the bike suddenly shut down. Its heavy weight and poorly balanced distribution also made the Electra Glide Classic difficult to handle at low speeds. For a touring motorcycle, this was a critical flaw. Instead of delivering power and comfort, the bike left many describing the ride as a constant struggle to keep it under control. 1974, Harley-Davidson Baja 100. In an attempt to break into the booming dirt bike market of the 1970s, Harley-Davidson released the Baja 100. Instead of rivaling Honda or Yamaha, however, it quickly became a symbol of Harley's missteps in the off-road world. The Baja 100 was powered by a 98 cubic centimeter two-stroke engine that was barely adequate for city riding, let alone rugged trails. Its power was so weak that the bike frequently bogged down on hills or sandy terrain. Riders often joked that the Baja 100 was a dirt bike that didn't like dirt, a stinging insult for a machine supposedly built for the off-road. The suspension was another critical flaw. With minimal travel and poor shock absorption, it failed to handle even mild bumps. Riders reported constant jolts and a lack of control, turning every ride into a punishing ordeal. Adding to the disappointment, its clunky styling lacked the sleekness of Japanese competitors, making it unattractive both mechanically and visually. Unsurprisingly, the Baja 100 vanished from showrooms after only a short run. 1986, Harley-Davidson Liberty Edition. To celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Statue of Liberty, Harley-Davidson released the Liberty Edition. On paper, it should have been a special model, tying together America's most famous symbol with one of its most iconic brands. In practice, however, the Liberty Edition was dismissed as a cheap marketing gimmick and quickly forgotten. The biggest difference lay only in a special paint job and decals with a Liberty theme. Beyond these cosmetics, the Liberty Edition was virtually identical to a standard Electra Glide. Buyers soon realized they were paying extra for little more than a fresh coat of paint, not a truly upgraded motorcycle. Technically, it was powered by the 1,340 cubic centimeter Evolution engine, which was considered an improvement over the shovelhead, yet still plagued by familiar issues. Oil leaks, overheating, and inconsistent durability continued to frustrate owners. Combined with the bike's heavy weight and bulky frame, maneuvering in city traffic was far from enjoyable. Today, the Liberty Edition is rarely remembered with admiration. 1983, Harley-Davidson XR 1000. In the 1980s, Harley-Davidson sought to capitalize on its legendary dirt track racing heritage by releasing the XR 1000. On paper, it was meant to be a street bike infused with the DNA of the iconic XR 750 racer. But instead of becoming a performance legend, the XR 1000 quickly went down as a commercial flop. Powered by a 998 cubic centimeter V-twin engine with dual carburetors, the XR 1000 produced 70 horsepower, impressive for Harley at the time. The real problem lay in control and ergonomics. The bike was heavy, the riding position awkward, and the dual carburetors mounted on the right side often interfered with the rider's leg. Instead of delivering excitement, the experience felt clumsy and uncomfortable. Another glaring weakness was the starting system. Despite being released in the mid-1980s, the XR 1000 still relied on a kickstart mechanism, which many riders mocked as a relic of the past. For a bike marketed as a performance machine, this was a major turnoff. Unsurprisingly, the XR 1000 lasted only 2 years with poor sales. 1971, Harley-Davidson Sprint 350. During the turbulent AMF years, Harley-Davidson introduced the Sprint 350, a compact sport bike meant to compete with the flood of Japanese imports. Instead of offering something fresh, however, the Sprint 350 quickly became a disaster in both engineering and design. The bike featured a 344 cubic centimeter, 4-stroke single-cylinder engine, but its power output was severely underwhelming. Riders frequently complained of sluggish acceleration and rapid overheating. Starting the bike was another ordeal, with many joking that owning a Sprint 350 was like getting a workout every time you tried to fire it up. Once running, the machine vibrated so heavily that hands went numb and wrists ached, turning long rides into punishment. Styling was another letdown. The Sprint 350 lacked Harley's trademark presence, its small frame and plain lines drawing comparisons to cheap knockoffs rather than a proud American product. Worse still, AMF-era build quality was notoriously poor, making the bike even less reliable. Unsurprisingly, the Sprint 350 stood no chance against Japanese rivals like Honda or Yamaha. 1981, Harley-Davidson Sturgis. Inspired by the famous motorcycle rally in South Dakota, Harley-Davidson released the Sturgis, hoping to turn it into a special cruiser embodying the spirit of open-road freedom. Instead of becoming a legend, however, the Sturgis quickly gained a reputation as one of Harley's most notorious AMF-era failures. The bike was powered by the 1340 cubic centimeter shovelhead engine, which proved to be the root of constant frustrations. Oil leaks, overheating, and excessive vibration plagued riders, while performance was often inconsistent. Though marketed as powerful, the Sturgis struggled to maintain steady output on long rides, leaving many disappointed. Its most distinctive feature was the belt drive system, a bold innovation for Harley at the time. Yet rather than delivering durability and smoothness, the early belt setup wore out quickly, slipped under load, and in some cases, even snapped. Riders soon realized they couldn't trust the Sturgis for long-distance travel, completely undermining its purpose as a touring cruiser. 2009 Harley-Davidson Tri-Glide Ultra Classic. With its massive design and modern features, it looked like the perfect blend of convenience and stability. In reality, though, the Tri-Glide became one of Harley's most criticized touring models. The biggest issue was handling. Despite its 3 wheels, the Tri-Glide often felt unstable. Its high center of gravity made cornering awkward, while the weak rear suspension left passengers suffering through harsh jolts on long rides. For a premium touring motorcycle, such flaws were hard to forgive. The twin-cam 103 engine was another problem, notorious for running extremely hot, especially in slow traffic or stop-and-go conditions. The heat radiated straight onto the rider, greatly reducing comfort. Combined with its bulky body and difficulty maneuvering in tight spaces, the Tri-Glide quickly earned the reputation of being a touring bike no one wanted to tour with. Today, the Tri-Glide Ultra Classic is remembered as proof that adding more wheels doesn't always mean a better ride. Sometimes it just amplifies the problems that already exist. 1977 Harley-Davidson XLCR Cafe Racer. In 1977, Harley-Davidson launched the XLCR Cafe Racer, hoping to catch the cafe racer trend and win over younger speed enthusiasts. Instead of becoming a new icon, however, the XLCR quickly went down as an embarrassing failure. The bike was powered by a 1,000 cubic centimeter Ironhead V-twin engine, producing around 61 horsepower. For a cafe racer, this was far too weak, especially compared to lighter and nimbler rivals from Norton and Triumph. Its heavy frame and poorly tuned chassis made cornering difficult, stripping away the agility that defined the cafe racer spirit. Design was equally divisive. Willie G. Davidson opted for an all-black look, with an angular fuel tank and fiberglass tail section. While bold, the result felt misplaced. Not Harley enough for traditional fans, yet not refined enough to win over European cafe racer purists. 2013 Harley-Davidson CVO Breakout. Among Harley-Davidson's controversial models, the CVO Breakout stands as a prime example of a cruiser that's flashy on the outside but hollow within. Released under the Custom Vehicle Operations banner, the company's premium lineup, the Breakout carried a hefty price tag well above standard models. Yet buyers were left wondering, what exactly were they paying for? Its most striking feature was the massive 240mm rear tire. While visually impressive, it made handling heavy and sluggish, especially when cornering at higher speeds. The stretched-out riding posture only worsened the experience, with many riders reporting back pain and sore shoulders after just a few hours. Under the hood, the twin-cam 110 engine delivered power but also ran extremely hot, particularly in city traffic. Heat radiated directly onto the rider, turning rides into an ordeal. On top of that, high maintenance costs and rapid depreciation made the Breakout a poor investment, even for Harley loyalists. 2014 Harley-Davidson Street 500 and 750. When launched in 2014, the Street 500 and Street 750 were expected to mark a new era for Harley-Davidson. These were lower-priced models aimed at younger urban riders and international markets like India and Southeast Asia. Instead of becoming the gateway to Harley ownership, the Street Series quickly became one of the company's biggest disappointments. The most obvious weakness was build quality. Plastic components felt cheap and rattled after just a few months. Panels cracked easily, and misaligned fittings gave the bike a budget motorcycle reputation, the exact opposite of Harley's premium image. As for performance, the Revolution X 500cc and 750cc engines were designed specifically for this lineup but fell short. They overheated in traffic, throttle response was inconsistent, and at higher speeds, the excessive vibration made long rides uncomfortable. Many owners also complained about reliability, with mechanical issues appearing after only a few thousand miles. 2001 Harley-Davidson V-Rod. When it debuted in 2001, the Harley-Davidson V-Rod was expected to usher in a new era. Featuring the liquid-cooled 60-degree Revolution 5 twin engine, co-developed with Porsche, it was the most modern Harley of its time. Yet instead of being a breakthrough, the V-Rod ended up deeply dividing the Harley community. The Revolution engine was powerful, but it completely lacked Harley's signature rumbling exhaust note. To many loyal fans, this felt like a betrayal of the brand's identity. On top of that, the forward-set foot controls created an awkward riding posture that left riders fatigued on long trips. Its aluminum frame and heavy body also made low-speed handling cumbersome. Another major flaw was the tiny 3.7-gallon fuel tank. For a long-distance cruiser, constant fuel stops were simply unacceptable. Even the 2003 Anniversary Edition, with its special paint and commemorative badging, failed to fix these issues, drawing criticism that Harley focused on flash-over function. Looking back at these 15 motorcycles, it's clear that even a legendary brand like Harley-Davidson has stumbled at times. From the Topper scooter and Baja 100 to the V-Rod, each model reflected bold experimentation that sometimes went in the wrong direction. That's the beauty of history. It's not only about the triumphs, but also the failures we can learn from. Now, I want to hear from you. In your opinion, which Harley deserves the title of the worst of all time? Or have you ridden one of these bikes and had a completely different experience? Share your story in the comments below. Your perspective might surprise everyone. If you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. That's the best way to make sure you never miss future deep dives into classic motorcycles and cars. And share this video with your fellow enthusiasts. You never know, they might have their own unforgettable memories with one of these Harleys.